The city of angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. This is episode 178. We're going to call this one Let's Play 2. I definitely have my Pepsi ready to go. Diet Pepsi, let's be honest. Man, what a great sponsorship. We've got an interesting crew for tonight, an amazing crew for tonight. So I'm going to introduce them before I even do any intros. Number one, Jason, LAFC Punk Ariano. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to have the night off. Happy to be back. It's love talking LAFC. We're so close to the season. I'm very excited for the season to start. Counting the days down to the season. I love your new jersey. I really want one. I told my daughter that that's what I want for my birthday, and she said, "Daddy, you're a messy eater. You're going to stain it." She said, "Get the black one." So I still want the white one.
I will say, though, this is the replica. This isn't the authentic, and I can tell you the material is completely different from the authentic. This one's more of a smooth polyester. It's a recyclable one. So it's a different vibe altogether. The Los Angeles on the arms is pretty cool. It's not stitched like the authentic, so there are some differences. I like it because it's lighter. If I wear the vest in the stands and all that, it's actually much more functional for me. I will get an authentic, though, because, dude, you can't beat authentics. So there's that. But, yeah definitely, guys, the color is rather interesting. It's different, and honestly, I do like it a lot. So it's good. We also, as you notice, have somebody else on the show today, and that would be none other than LAFC Benjamin. How are you, Ben?
Hey, Joseph. Hey, Jason. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show once again. I know it's been a while. It's the first time doing it live. I'm just been looking forward to it this whole week since I got the invite from you. So, yeah, I'm just ready to talk some LAFC football.
Dude, we missed you here, man. I know. But you've had some major life events since the last time we had you on, right?
Yes. So I moved to Glendale, and then I got married. So
congratulations,
got a puppy. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
Just building the whole thing, Yeah, it's awesome.
Being adult life,
And of course, being our game day correspondent and writer at the first weekend, it's been, dude, huge having you do this. I know I jumped in a little bit for it last year, but dude, you're the guy that's pushing it, getting us the eyes and ears when we need it most. If you guys are looking underneath our Instagram, at Benzie91 is his Instagram, so definitely check him out, follow him. He will be with us throughout the season. And dude, how many seasons has it been now, Ben?
I started my first game doing it was the playoff game against RSL. That was my first media. So
three seasons in a playoff game, right?
That's pretty much
that's where it's been. He's one of the old school guys, no doubt about that. And we're glad to have him on for another amazing season. As I said, this is episode 178. They just seem to keep flying by. But it's a good one because we're about a week away from opening day. I know there will be fans. Not sure how many. Wish we could have more, but there will definitely be there. And the team is getting it all together. So today's episode is going to be a lot about what was seen the first episode or for the first preseason official match, what to expect going forward, the fact that we had a double header. And then we'll talk a little bit about some more league things going on because that's happening too. There's been really interesting news and movement. So we'll cover that as well today. Again, Ben, welcome aboard, Punk. Glad to have you back. Let's get into the mix. First of all, like I said, there were two preseason matches. Yeah, that's right. A doubleheader for those who didn't expect that to happen. Pretty good news. So we got to see the run out of pretty much everybody that's been in preseason. There's been no shock. Maybe Mac was one guy, right, Ben?
Yeah. So the starting 11 for LAFC, we had Cisniega in goal, Tristan Blackman at right back, Chiqui Palacios at left back, Segura and Murillo in the middle of the defense, Blessing, Atuesta, and Cifuentes in the midfield, and the top three of Vela, Rossi, and Corey Baird.
Interesting seeing Baird get the start. I think it's a good thing. We can actually see this thing run out. Now, early look at it, were they pretty much stationary in the positions, or were they pretty much moving all over the place?
No, they were actually very, very fluid and interchanging positions up top. I really liked what I saw from the top three. On paper, Corey Baird was the number 9, but it was always he was on the left, he was on the right. He was never just in one position. And if you remember from last year with Brian Rodriguez, he was kind of like one dimensional, just kind of stood out on the wings.
Mm-hmm.
And with Corey Baird, I feel like we're going to get a complete player with him being able to move on either side and also playing in the middle.
So there's been a noticeable difference, even from the small little bit that we've seen between him and, say, Rodriguez in that role.
Yeah, I would say so, for sure.
Sounds good. Sounds exciting. I like it. Outside of the lineup, anything you were surprised with in terms of performances that you saw, or something different that you weren't expecting from that lineup?
No, it was a pretty full strength lineup, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this lineup against Austin. Do you see anybody that's missing in the starting 11? Maybe K.
Yeah.
Would be
right. Who goes out? Blessing?
It would be Blessing, because I don't think he'd take out Cifuentes, because he's been doing really well. So no. I think the midfield is a battle. I think 2 of them for sure in, which is Atuesta and Cifuentes. It's that third midfielder that's missing. It's going to be between K, Blessing, or
Janela,
maybe
right?
Janela. So we'll see.
So they're in a battle, right, to who gets to play basically on game day.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
It's a nice thing to have. I know we want to bolster it even further than this, right? That's the natural thing as an MLS team, that it's never 100% what you think you're going to get or what you want. There's always going to be these things that you want a little bit stronger. That's the norm. But to have those 3 as the ones fighting for the position is pretty good, right?
Yeah, you even have Raheem Edwards coming in too, so we'll see.
Yeah, he hasn't really been seen all that much, right?
No, I think he's been out because he's been with quarantine. I think he's trying to get his green card. So I don't think he's been around, but I think he's gonna join training pretty soon. So yeah.
Wow, that's brutal. He's been in the wilderness basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, we didn't understand what was going on, why we don't see him. We know you signed him, right?
Yeah,
but
he's on the roster, but we'll be seeing him soon for sure.
Hey, hopefully we'll see him this weekend. Hopefully that works out.
Hopefully.
In terms of New England, it's a much improved side as well, right? They've made some changes.
Yeah, so their starting 11 was Matt Turner, goalkeeper. They had Jones, Bell, Farrell, and Bai in the back line. Maciel, McNamara, Polster, and Gill in the midfield, and Bo and Buxa up top. So it was a 4-4-2 for them.
Interesting. So standard 4-4-2 from Bruce Arena.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Yeah.
Taking it back to the original. Wow. Well, that's nice. That opens the game up a bit. From the early stages, what was your impression of the match going in?
So no, it was a great start from LAFC from the get-go. They dominated possession, lots of control, created some really good chances, quick passing in the midfield. Rossi, Vela, and Baird, they actually created some really good chances that each had a shot on goal. But Matt Turner, the New England goalie, he was arguably the man of the match. He had some really good saves. And once all that ended, the revolution kind of settled into the game. They started to feel it out, and they started to connect some passes, and they just got the best of LAFC heading into the second half. But that first half, it was all LAFC.
And it sounded like that from all the updates you were sending. So it was pretty funny. You're sending out tweets, I'm retweeting you at the same time. All right, we got this timed. We're gonna do this. Going back and forth just so we can keep the mention out there. I know Defenders was doing the same thing as well, trying to keep everybody informed. Which, dude, well done, gentlemen. Yeah. So between the 2 of us, we're getting analyzing of the match from Ben, and then from them the play-by-play, and we did what we could right under the circumstances.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your eyes on the game and then at the same time try and tweet out the updates. But I was
I was tweeting you about that, hey man, it's okay, you don't have to go too crazy with it, just hit us on the big stuff, and dude, you did well. It was good eye-opening see from what we were doing, and Dude, I was happy with the first half, but things didn't quite stay that way as the match went along, did it?
No, so I don't know what happened at halftime. I don't know what Bruce Arena told their guys in the locker room, but the Revolution just came out with a whole different attitude. They were playing direct, very offensive style, and LAFC just didn't wake up. Revolution scored 2 quick goals within the first 5 minutes, and then it could have been 3-0 easily if it wasn't for Cisniega in the crossbar. Could have been 3-0 in like the first 10 minutes.
Oh,
But
man.
I wanted to point out something. It's it was interesting. There was a play where, and it was like the 55th minute, where LAFC had the ball up in attack. They lose it, and then Atuesta kind of like hand checks a New England player in the face, and out of frustration, you could tell he was kind of sending a message to his team, like, wake up, guys, like let's, the game started. And I feel like that kind of flipped the switch in everybody's head. And after that, it was all LAFC again. After that, they regained control of the match.
Oof. So is basically, again, Atuesta controlling our mindset, our tempo, or approach to things by just sending messages again.
Pretty much, yeah. So then Bob makes 3 subs in the 60th minute. He removes, it was Murillo came off, and Kim Moon-Hwan made his debut at the right back. So Blackman slid into center back with Segura. Ginella came on for Cifuentes, and Musovski came on for Baird. So the interesting thing about the Ginella substitution was that pushed Atuesta up a little bit more forward and gave him a little bit more freedom to play an offensive role. And he played really well after that. He really took on to put the team on his back. Like at that point, you could tell that he really wanted to, get that second goal because, they were playing so bad in the first 10 minutes. He was angry with himself, with the team. So I feel like Atuesta really showed some growth in this game. You could tell he wants to be here. He wants to win, and it was really good to see him do that. So yeah, as far as Kim Moon-Hwan, he had a little bit of a scare. That there was a play where he was all by himself. He made a really heavy pass towards Cisniega, towards his own goal. And if it wasn't for Cisniega, putting his hand out and saving it, it would have been an own goal. I don't know what would have happened. LAFC Twitter would have blew up. Kim Moon-Hwan scoring an own goal in his debut. That would have been bad. But yeah,
dude, was that his first touch of the game?
No, but it was like within the first 5 minutes of him coming on. So yeah, it was.
Oh man,
it would have been pretty bad if that would have gone in.
Thank God there's no points involved though, right?
yeah, that would have been bad. But hopefully, thankfully he got up from that. He recovered from that mistake. So
what was your take on if we're gonna assess his performance on the day? What would you say after that crazy incident? Because again, that's just preseason jitters.
Right.
Outside of that, what was your impressions of his?
He was playing very kind of safe. Not accelerating too much. He was kind of taking it easy. Playing a lot of passes back, a lot of passes to the side. Didn't really go up the field that much. And he would always kind of cut inwards. He would never really cut outside. He would always cut in. And what I realized, it was in the press conference, Bob Bradley mentioned that he's actually recovering from a minor knee injury. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why he was kind of taking it slow. I mean, but you could tell that the skill is there. The guy has good touch, good passing, but I think they're going to take it slow with him.
Better to be safe. It's preseason, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no need to rush it with him right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to risk him, so that makes sense. In terms of positioning, how does the center back position look now that we're moving Blackman into the middle for time?
It looked pretty good. I mean, when Blackman was in the middle, New England wasn't really attacking anymore. It was more like LAFC was going forward. It was Murillo who was the one that was dealing with all of New England's attack, but he got substituted out in the 60th minute, so that was that. But yeah, after all that craziness in the first 10 minutes, LAFC get a goal back in the 63rd off a corner kick. Vela hits a outswinger. Blackman flicks it to the back post, and Atuesta, of all people, heads it in to get the 2-1 score line. And then in the 75th minute, Bob makes 5 more subs. Vermeer comes on for Cisniega. I believe it was Vela comes off for Opoku. Blessing comes off for Duke. Palacios comes off for Farfan, and I think that was it. That was the 5 subs that he made.
Interesting. Okay, well, it makes sense, right? It's a preseason game. So, in terms of Palacios' performance compared to, say, what you saw from Farfan on the day, is there a threat for Palacios at this time, or was he doing what he needed to do?
It's funny you ask, because New England's 2 goals actually came from that side, from the right side. So, I mean, if Bob sees that that's a constant, maybe he gives, Farfan a chance. Farfan didn't really have a lot of work to do per se, because at that point in the game, LAFC was just pushing forward. So he didn't really have a lot of work. But yeah, Palacios in the first half, he was good. He was fine. But, those first 5 minutes, lack of concentration on his side, and crosses kept coming in from his side. So if he doesn't, brush that up, he might be seeing some minutes on the bench. You never know.
Yeah, the first goal that I saw from the Revolution highlights, because they were posting stuff up, he did look like he got burned on the play. Palacios looked like he was hung out to dry on that, was not in the right place at the right time at all, and that's kind of where it went. It was a little bit of a too simple of a goal to give up. So definitely wake-up call. Blackman versus Moon.
Blackman. Right now, Blackman, definitely.
Okay.
I think Kim Woon-Hwan, he's gonna take some time to adapt. He's gonna go through that adaptation process. It's a new league, new system, new teammates, new everything for him. So I think it's gonna take some time for him to get used to. Blackman's familiar. He's been here since day one. There's no problem with him. So as for the time being, until Kim Woon-Hwan, gets adjusted to the system and recovers fully from his injury, I see Blackman at the right back as a starter.
So if you were a betting man or playing, say, LAFC Fantasy, shout out to the gents. Yeah, you should see the stickers they got us. I'll show you in a few seconds. You would say, if you were going to pay to put a bet on it, Blackman gets the starting against Austin?
Yes, 100%. Definitely.
Perfect. Palacios, do you think if he rebounds this weekend against the Revs, he's pretty much locked for left back?
Yeah, I think Palacios, for right now, the job is his. Unless he does a few stretch of games where he doesn't perform, I mean, I don't see him losing that spot.
Got it. In terms of what you saw from the midfield in this first match, I mean, we did have a missed penalty from Rossi, but hey, preseason jitters, let it go. Yeah. Where do you think it stands so far with the midfield?
Well, Atuesta is, set it and forget it starter. He's the one that, moves the pieces in the midfield, that creates the opening spaces. He's a starter for sure. But Blessing didn't have the greatest of games. He kind of struggled a bit in the first half. He didn't make some good passes. He lost possession a few times. There was a specific play where Corey Baird made a great run, and Blessing had all the time in the world to play him, but he chose to play it safe and just play it back. So yeah, he's not a huge offensive threat when it comes to passing, like those diagonal balls or those through balls. That's where K really shines. But Cifuentes, he had a great game too. He had a couple shots on goal. I love the way he plays. He's so full of energy. He's a box-to-box midfielder, never stops running. So as of right now, the midfield I see it's Atuesta, Cifuentes, and the last one could be either Ginella, K, or Blessing. It's up in the air right now for me.
Roll the dice, right?
Yeah.
Depending on who we're playing against, that's who you're going to see thrown out there.
Yeah,
and it's going to be tough for K. He's been on basically COVID protocol because he's traveling for international matches.
Right.
Do you think he walks into a starting role, or Janela gets a shot at it?
I think it depends on his fitness because he just came back from quarantine. They're gonna probably test him out in training this week and next week, and I think if he's shows no signs of fatigue, everything's 100%. I think he could potentially take that spot over Cifuentes, but I think it all depends on K's performance against New England on Saturday, and
Right.
his training, during the week.
There it is. There it is. So, I mean, we'll see where it's at. I really do hope Cifuentes gets the nod on opening day. I really am. I'm rooting for him on this one.
Yeah.
From what we saw towards the end of last season, he's really come into his own. So let's hope that's the story.
Yes, hopefully.
Anybody to worry about with New England that was like, wow, this dude's gonna be a show this year?
Gustavo Bo, their forward. That guy is big. He's really physical. He gets up in your face. He's a monster. So yeah, he definitely gave LAFC some problems up in attack. Other than that, Carlos Hill, he's a very good midfielder. He's kind of there at Tuesta. He kind of moves the strings in the midfield. So I would watch out for him. But New England is also they missed 2 players. I think it was Besler. Is that his name?
Yeah, one guy from Canada was on protocol as well.
Buchanan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know they're missing one from international play.
Yeah, so they're going to play on Saturday, so they got to watch out for those. But as far as the one from last week, I just saw Gustavo Bo. He was the one that kind of caused LAFC problems.
Of course, their goalkeeper, right?
Oh, that's right. Their goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean they had 3 saves in the first half. That penalty shot he saved in the second half. So if it wasn't for him, it could have been like a 6-3 game. We would have been talking a whole other story right now with LAFC.
So chance creation's right, run of play is right. We ran into a goalkeeper.
Pretty much, yeah.
There it is. Well, that's not a bad thing. I know we had a bad spell for a little bit, but it sounds like, again, we're finding ourselves at the right times. And, yeah, don't feel so bad about Austin, right? We should be ready for these guys.
Yeah, we should be good.
Good. That being said, of course, there was a bit of a surprise, not for everybody, but for many, that this happened to be a double header. That's why I said let's play 2 for this episode, because that's exactly what we got. We got a double header. Ben, there was limited time though, right, as to how much time press could begin to watch it.
Yeah, so they only allowed us to watch for the first 30 minutes of the game, and I think just based on reports I saw later that it was actually just a 2 30-minute half game. So we actually just saw like the first half. Yeah, it was. I liked what I saw. I'm gonna just shoot out the starting lineup for LAFC for this one. So we had Vermeer in goal, Farfan at left back, Tony Leone at center back with Jordan Harvey. Who could be like his dad. Quesada was our draft pick, one of our draft picks in this 2021 draft. So he was playing right back. Ginella, Bryce Duke, and Eric Dueñas was playing in the midfield.
Interesting.
Yeah, he played really, really well. Like he looked so good in the midfield. I'll talk more about him later.
Good.
Danny Musovski, Bahala, and Christian Torres were up top, the top 3. And for Las Vegas, they had they kind of borrowed a few of our players for this one. They had who was at Las Vegas? They had Tomas Romero, the goalkeeper. Mohamed Traore was playing center back for them. Cici Ucha was also playing center back for them. Cal Jennings, Danny Trejo were playing up top. And I'm missing one more, I think. There was one more player, but it's kind of slipping my mind right now. But yeah, those were the main guys that were playing for Las Vegas against LAFC. And there was a bunch of academy kids, covering in for the time being. But yeah, those were the main guys.
So there were academy kids featuring in that match as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
that looks promising. I have heard there's been at least 3 prospects within the academy that we could be hearing about later in this season. So things are still looking strong within the academy. Of course they are. Did you expect any different? From the impressions of the first 30 minutes, who really stood out for you for those 30 minutes?
two players. It was the academy kids, Eric Dueñas and Christian Torres. Let's start with Dueñas. So he was playing in the midfield. That was the first time I saw him playing in there because, we're all used to seeing him playing right back for LAFC. Yeah, he was just smooth on the ball, very calm, collected, just distributing the ball left and right, no signs of him being a 16-year-old kid. He looked like a grown man out there, like really, like I was really like surprised. And there was this one play where him and Danny Trejo were kind of going like a 50-50 battle. And I think Danny Trejo said something to him, and he just kind of like gave him a little push, yeah, he was holding his own. Like it was really nice to see. Like Eric Dueñas was just.
I mean, you gotta be real with this. If you play well enough, you get to stay in Los Angeles and don't have to fly to some random USL opponent city or Vegas. So, getting into that final 18 is kind of important because it's going to save you on frequent flyer miles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then continuing with Christian Torres, he was very active. He had several shots on goal. A few of them came off the post. Some of them were blocked by the goalkeeper. But he constantly was asking for the ball. He showed some true character out there. Every time he like made a mistake, he would yell, get mad at himself. You could tell he cared about the game. So yeah, those two players were my highlights for me for LAFC.
Dude, they bleed for the crest. We know that already.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
not a shock. How was CC Uche out there?
He was good. I mean, from what I remember, he didn't really stand out like all that much. Okay. It was just an average day for him. I don't remember seeing him, make a mistake or anything like that.
Standard operating, no issue. Anybody to be concerned about from that 30 minutes that you saw?
Yeah, I would say Musovski. Even though he got the goal, he had like at least 2 or 3 clear chances, like on goal. Like he was 1-on-1 against the goalie, and he either shot it wide or shot it right to the goalie. So he was in the right spot, but his finishing was lacking in this one.
Getting into form for sure, and of course he's in a battle, and it's going to be the battle with I think Baird. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. That's what we're looking at right now. And thing is, Torres is also on that run. If you were going to look at Musovski and Torres, who right now looks like they're probably going to get more minutes this season.
Right now, just based on what I've seen, I would say Torres. But I mean, of course, experience, counts, and maybe I know Bob mentioned in his press conference that he did like what Musovski did in the first game against New England. So there's that. But yeah, I think it's still a toss-up. I don't think there's anything definite right now in the forward position. But if I had to choose between Musovski and Torres, I would say Torres.
There it is. He's calling it heavy, but it sounds great hearing that the kids are doing all right and developing even further than what we saw last year, which was brilliant. Depth is a good thing, of course. What was I going to throw out there? Basically, watching Vegas, watching that match, it was kind of a preview as the news to come ahead, right? Because there was some moves happening. There was some signings going on for Vegas that it was almost, the day after? Not even the day after. They call these things. But basically, yeah, they signed 9 players kind of connected to us. 2 very, I'd say, familiar names. They should be now. CC Uche is one of them. He's now officially signed for Vegas, so you know where he's going to be for most of the year. And, of course, Phil Ejimadu is also moving over. And so that means that they're going to be there the whole time. It's interesting because if you look at the 9 signings for Vegas, outside of the familiar faces, they have another goalkeeper that they've signed with European experience. So that there's already a battle, and there's a question of maybe Romero also moving on over there as well. So there's a 3-way goalkeeper battle just from the signings that we saw. And I can throw some other names out there, but a lot of them you're not going to be familiar with. Maybe when we get to watch these guys, which is official, they're going to be on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. You get to watch the Vegas games this year. They've, USL has signed a deal. So get your ESPN Plus, folks. Get it there. ESPN2, boom, there will be a match. Probably all of them will be on the app. So it's nice. We'll get to watch these guys and get used to them. I can throw it. You want me to throw out the names? The 9 that we heard about?
Go for it, Joseph.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to say it. All right, so I'm gonna run out there. You said, Ejimadu, Uche, some champion USL veteran experience. You have Danny Cristosomo. You got. I'm reading all these lists as they fly through. This is the goalkeeper Duncan Turnbull. Came from Notre Dame, but also played a bit in Europe for Portsmouth.
Hey,
Baby, there it is. Michael Yaboa, midfielder. Rookies, Frank DeRoma, Cal State San Bernardino product. Maybe there's something there. Let's see, who else did we see as I'm running through this list here? We had Eric Iloski, defender from UCLA, drafted by the Whitecaps. He was under contract for Real Salt Lake for a while, but now he's there. Then Roberto Molina, forward from UC Irvine. I'm going to say this about him. This could be one that we're kind of eyeballing. Like, this could be a potential for us in the future. We'll see how this plays out. All of them, honestly, are guys that we're looking at. That's why, they're playing for Vegas. Nathan Sepulveda, midfielder as well. So that's who we saw. Again, there will be more heading that way. You heard of 9. That's not going to fill a team. The rest of them is going to be our guys. That's how it's designed. You know who the staff is running that team. It is all about developing us and, of course, getting competitive, getting results there. So our guys are kind of used to the winning, used to being on the front foot. System should be, expect to be almost the same. They're developing for us. So, yes, new faces. We'll get to learn them as the season goes along. And as they step up, we'll know. And also we'll see how the traveling goes back and forth for us. But it kind of answers questions because people are like, well, are all of our guys going over there? Are they going to completely? No, they have some guys under contract. So that works. Running forward, let me jump back into here. What's your guys' early impressions so far? Like, Punk, I haven't heard from you. What's your take on Ejimado and Uche? Are they just getting more of a look-see or just filling roster space?
I think they're just filling roster places. I think they're going to be, I think, in Vegas all season. Just my personal opinion. It's just going to be, as of right now, they're USL players because we have 2 quality goalkeepers right now. I think something serious would have to happen for him to come up to our club. Like, both of our keepers have to get injured, which the chances of that happening are slim. I mean, it's happened in sports before. I've seen it happen in MLS. I've seen it happen in every sport there is. But I think for now, he's a USL. I mean, if he proves himself, perhaps another MLS team could pick him up. I think it's going to get him minutes in Vegas, being able to play there instead of playing third string or being on the bench on an MLS us right now for LAFC. But I think for him, it's a good thing because he's going to be able to get noticed more, be seen more, and it's going to give him an opportunity to shine and, no pun intended, but light it up in Vegas. And so that way he could perhaps get picked up by another club. Because I think the chances of him playing for LAFC are pretty slim since we got Vermeer and Cicinega. So, yeah, I wish him the best. I mean, it's nothing against him as a person. I mean, sometimes as a sports fan, it's tough because we get attached to these players as people, but it is a business as well. It's kind of tough for us fans to sometimes understand that when we let go of a player or trade a player, release a player, or a player signs to another team. For them, it's their life, it's their job. That's what they do. So we wish him the best. I think he's going to do great in Vegas, and I wish him the best in the future. I hope he does get picked up by another MLS club. There's more expansion teams coming into the league, so this will give him a chance to show that perhaps he can go to St. Louis or Charlotte. It'd be great to see him do that.
We'll see what happens. You also have to realize that they're all going to be training at the center. They're all going to be over at Cal State LA doing their thing. All of these guys. So everyone's getting a look-see every day. They'll have their lockers there. It'll be all set up. Romero's probably going to be the guy playing in most of the games for Las Vegas, right? You would expect that since he's kind of our understudy and the guy that's there to take the torch from maybe Vermeer for this season as the backup and maybe even the starter and find his way in. Because let's be honest, Romero has experience starting and winning things. So we'll see what he does. I think he'll get most of the games with Vegas because, we need to get him ready for next year. That's why we bought him. We'll see where it goes. It's fun just to know that we have that many guys that are going to fill up the training center, and it's going to be that insanely competitive. Again, good news. And the 9 signed are not bad. Like, you look, they're pretty strong group to bring in the USL level. So competitive instantly, guys. It's good to watch. We'll have two teams we can watch. Of course, LAFC is our team. The other one is there to develop and help us. But again, they have their own identity. They are the Las Vegas Lights. They have their community to serve as well. And I will go to games. I know you guys, you're planning on going to games like when they play against Carson or even San Diego, right?
Yeah, I already. I called my aunt on Easter Sunday, and she lives in Vegas. And I said, and she told me, she goes, if you want to fly, I'll pick you up from the airport. If you drive, you got a free place to stay. And she even offered, because she has a spare bedroom, which she said I'll have. But she said, if you bring anyone out, I have a couch. So she goes, if you can bring one person, and I'll let you. They can sleep on the couch. So
how's he gonna?
So yeah, my aunt's expecting me to come out to a game. So I'm looking forward to it.
You can take the whole north end in your house. There you go. Good stuff, man. Again, happy to see where we're at. It's good to see the development play itself out. Moving on from there has been some interesting articles. There was one by Vela that LA Times recently released and a couple others covered. Really, it was really nice to hear Vela talk the way he did and how he's approaching things this year. I'm okay with him having a conversation this open because we know how closed off he can appear at times. He's not a closed off person. He just appears that way with press. This was good. This was an open thing. This is showing leadership. I like the comment that he said, I will fight for the MVP again, because I think that will be good for the team. So he's telling you that, of course, he's putting in everything he can, not just because he's looking for the accolade. It's because he knows he has to do that to get us across the line. Ben, what was your take on the interview?
Yeah, it just shows that he's, back after he had his injury last year. He's back 100% physically, mentally ready. He's rested. He's motivated once again to win MVP, MLS Cup. You see his optimism on the team. Yeah, it just shows that he's a true leader. He wears a captain's armband for a reason. So, I'm really excited for him to lead the team again to the playoffs and MLS Cup, hopefully this year around.
That's what we're in it for. Open Cup, MLS Cup. Let's do this. Supporter Shield if we want to get another one, because that never hurts. But really, that's happened. We want the other ones. That's for sure. There was also comments from Bob from AS. Did you guys get a chance to look at that one? I think the only quote that came out, and of course they threw it out there because it sounded controversial, was feels no pressure to win MLS Cup. Yeah, of course, you read further into it, it's because he doesn't feel pressure because he knows that we're going to improve. And he's expecting improving. And he goes, if we don't get better than we were the year before, then he's got a problem. So it's kind of a nuance, but it's fun for a headline, right? Right, Punk?
Yeah, I mean, it's Bob. We all know how Bob is. I mean, he's a great coach. I think it's just him just playing with the press. I mean, we all remember the Get Lost episode thing with after we beat Carson. If you listen to the MLS Weekly guys, they often talk about how Bob, I mean, they respect Bob as a coach, but they know how he is with the press and they know how he is with them. And it's, that's just how he is. I mean, if he's Bob Bradley. I mean, some of us have been, I remember him with the Chicago Fire, and then I remember him with Chivas USA, then the U.S. national team. And you guys who listen know I'm a Swansea supporter. So he's coached quite a few of the teams that I follow. So I know how he is. I take it as just him just kind of playing with the press. We know how he is. I mean, he's one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive coach in MLS. I mean, if you watch that documentary from a couple of years ago, even now, I mean, my dad and I were just talking tonight about how this last season without the fans, I mean, you could hear him. I mean, it was just, that's Bob. So we love Bob. He's a great coach, and we respect what he
exactly. He's got his angle, and that's fine, and it's good. And we already know the fire in him. Go to a training session. Trust me, your ears, if you have sensitive ones, I'm sorry for you. Piercing, beautiful. I like it. My kind of way of approaching things. Ben, what was your take on the quote from Bob?
I mean, yeah, he's going to say there's no pressure winning, but I think, deep inside it, he knows that there's pressure. I mean, the fourth season? If they don't win a championship, I mean, there has to be some kind of pressure. Yep. I know he really prides himself on, his team playing well and, improving every game. And that's fine. but there comes a time where you have to start winning some silverware, some trophies. He mentioned that he wants his team to follow the example of Manchester City and how they've kind of improved over the years. If you remember back in '08 when Man City was like really just an average team in the Premier League, and then the whole takeover with the new ownership. So ever since then, definitely a huge change, and I feel like that's what he's trying to get to with his players. It took that Man City about 3 or 4 years to win their first Premier League title. So maybe that's kind of where this is going, where Bob is kind of wanted to set a standard first, set his ideas first, and then once he knows that he's got it, then the championships will come. Maybe it'll be a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. I don't know, but I think for him saying there's no pressure, I don't think that's true. I think after a while there has to be some championships in our trophy case.
Right. No, this is the statement year. COVID is where it is. There will be fans. It will be different this year. I don't think we're anticipating big breaks in the season. I think we're different now. Last year was chaos. And the players said that. The stop and go, it was all bad things, right? Nobody could really get a lot of rhythm going. It was trouble. But this year is full preseason, full everything. There's no distractions of, say, CCL, which was a beautiful thing. But let's be honest, now you can focus on the one mission. So expect different things. And you're right. The Manchester City thing was an interesting comparison because, we've been competitive from season 1. So we know where they're at now. And y'all saw Champions League these last 2 days. Man City, we'll see what happens with them. That being said, we can definitely move on from the quotes of the day and talk about some other stuff. The Revs match this weekend. Ben, do you think this weekend's match against the Revs is going to be a preview for opening day or more of a run out to see where everybody fits in the pieces and all that stuff?
I think it should be a preview for the opening day. I think Bob should definitely already be thinking of his potential starting 11 against Austin. I'm definitely hoping that Kay is probably the only player that didn't play in the last preseason match that I would want to see in this one. I would want to see more players playing a full 90 minutes. I think only 3 played last week. It was Segura, Atuesta, and Rossi. Those were the 3 players that played a full 90. I would want to see more players, physically fit for the home opener, and I would hope that Bob, thinks the same. And also for the Revolution, they're going to be getting ready for their opening game in the season. So I can definitely see Bruce Arena throwing out a full strength lineup himself. It's going to be definitely a very competitive match. Very close to a real regular season game, even though there's no points involved. But I definitely predict high intensity chess match kind of competitive game between Bruce Arena and Bob Bradley.
Yeah, they have to open it up. There's no doubt. Why? Bruce has played is this their 4th or 5th preseason match? They're pretty well in now. There's, they had the pair against the Galaxy and now pair against us. I think, was it 4th game or there might have been something else where they snuck it in?
It was 4th. Yeah, it was like 4th. They actually played today against Galaxy 2 from the USL. Yeah, but they didn't play any of their starters from the game on Saturday, so they rested them for the upcoming game against LAFC. So
that's pretty much shells you right there, right?
Yep, pretty much, exactly.
There it is. Punk, what's your take? You going to see a bunch of kids running out there, or is it game time?
I say you got to get the players out. Our starters out there. We got to get them ready for. The season starts. We're a week away, so we got to get them ready. I know it's preseason, so don't take a win or loss seriously. Just get them in game shape. Because last year we saw that, with the crazy schedule we had last year and the stretch of no games and a bunch of games, it really affected every team. I know a lot of people can blame we didn't do good because of COVID. Every team had to deal with COVID last year. Every team in the league had to deal with that last year. So I say we got to get them in midseason form already. We got Austin, we got to show them that we're the king of MLS already, and welcome them to the league properly, like we did with Miami last year, and just we got to be strong, and we've got to start out strong because we have to. Our first game of the season, we got to compete for the U.S. Open Cup.
Exactly.
We got to win these games. These first 3 games, we got to win because the U.S. That's the only way we're going to get into the U.S. Open Cup. I know Bob wants to win that U.S. Open Cup, so we have to be in shape for the first game of the season. So
right,
let's
it's
get
a playoff.
ready. Yeah,
It really
I
is.
mean, you're right. How often do you play your first 3 games like playoff games? The first 3 games of the season are going to be like playoff games for the whole league, and I think it's great for the league because it's going to be great for TV for people watching the games because these teams want to win the U.S. Open Cup because it gets you into the Champions League. So it's going to be an exciting first few weeks of the season. I'm looking forward to this beginning of the season because every team is going to come out to get points, not just a tie, but they want the 3 points so they can get into this tournament.
It's going to be nuts, absolutely nuts, and it should be. MLS has always had this thing where they go into the doldrums, like midsummer doldrums, and early season they're kind of feeling things out and playing a bit conservative. And they can't do that now. If you want to be in the Open Cup, if it's something you value, which everyone does these days, right? It's another trophy. Yeah, you can't mess up because your first 3 games, if those aren't so great, yeah, you're not going to be in the show. There you go.
And you get to go into Champions League if you win it.
Right? I mean, we're seeing the games getting played this week. We saw the return of Joseph Martinez yesterday. Yeah, and then we saw some crazy stuff today. The red card, that should have been red card by Saprissa. My gosh, that was crazy. But you're seeing it, right? The competition's there. Those teams are already in competitive matches. We're not yet. That's going to be a huge benefit because those guys are getting beat up already, and the opening day is not even here. And they're going to get beat up as they keep progressing in that tournament. You see how physical it is. And we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with the schedule, and that's all we're dealing with. Open Cup comes and goes. We'll see. But that's it. The mission ahead. And maybe this clarity is a blessing in disguise. I think it is. That being said, let's talk about the opening day. I'm going to keep doing it. We're about a week and a half away. Next Saturday, April 17th versus, Austin FC. Scheduled kickoff is 2:30 p.m. on Fox. That's right. Channel 11, folks. We're going on national TV. It's legit. Don't mess around with that. We got to really put on our best for that one for sure. National television. Yeah. There will be a crowd. Jason, would you like to give us a heads up as to the crowd situation so far? Well, you're on the mute, sir.
Okay. Yes. Right now, as we've been going over the last couple of weeks, right now we're at the red tier, which is 20%, which would mean 4,400 people. But by opening day, we're hoping to have 33%, which hopefully we can have 7,000, a little over 7,000 in there. But what I was looking at is the Dodgers website. The Dodgers, if we're going to go anyway, I think we're going to be kind of doing what Dodger Stadium is doing because it's the same state, it's the same city, it's the same ownership group. The Dodgers are having a lot of different things going into the game. You're going to have paperless tickets and mobile only. One thing they're having, which I've never seen before, is a cashless everything.
Yes.
When it comes to concessions, when it comes to food, if you don't have a credit card or a debit card or whatever, what they're going to have at Dodger Stadium is machines you can put cash in, and they'll give you a card. So my guess is we're going to see something similar at Bank of California. There's going to be no smoking as well, no smoking areas. You know, there's never been smoking inside the stadium. But if you go to the Dodgers website, I think our stadium is going to be the same, similar to that. It's going to be also concession stands. You can order your food from your seat, and they'll deliver it to you. So expect that for those of you who are going. I know I'm not a season ticket member. I know I've been watching social media, and on my Empire Boys Slack page, people are talking about how their season ticket reps are reaching out to them. You can opt in, opt out. So I know Joseph's a season ticket holder.
Yeah, so I can give a little bit of heads up on that. So today an email, actually it was yesterday that it came out. Yesterday an email came out to all of the season ticket holders. It's the opt-in, opt-out. And when we're saying opt-in, it means opt-in for the whole season. It's not like they're going to constantly change and ask you questions throughout. They want to know who's in and who's out under limited capacity. Of course, then the term limited goes away, and then we all go back. But this one is opt-in, opt-out, whether you're willing to do it. I can't give any details because everything is fluid right now. It really is. We don't really know. It's going to change. And the change is hopefully for the better and for the more, because right now it's not enough. We all know it's not enough. Too many of our friends won't be there and family will not be there. Families will kind of get split up if they have multiple accounts. That's real too. From, that looks that way to me. So we gave the opt-in, opt-out. So what had happened for my family? Well, my mom got season ticket. She had to do the opt-in. My wife and I, our accounts are split. We both had to do the opt-in. So what does that mean? That means I could get the call and she couldn't get the call, right? That's what that really does mean. So it's you got to do it. Opt in if you want any chance of getting into these games. Probably going to be a lottery. I can't guarantee nothing on that. Let's hope more than less. In terms of what Punk said about being cashless, from what I saw in the email, it is cashless. We're going that way. There's some other parameters in place as well. So check your email if you're a season ticket holder. And remember, you must do the opt-in by Thursday. Do it early, because I believe it's like a 5 cutoff, something like that. It's a cutoff that's kind of early in the day. So if you haven't checked your emails and you're a season ticket holder, please do that to get your opt-in so they know where you're at and where you're going, so they can actually start distributing and calling out and making it happen. So pray that we do this, guys. We all get our shots, that we all do what we need to do and get it bigger. I've heard other stuff about how if they do like proof of test, there's some weird stuff, or proof that you have the vaccination, then if they do some extra parameters like that, maybe the numbers could be even higher to go in the stadium. Baseball's been really interesting. I try to get Angel tickets, which they're still out there, because honestly, it's a lot cheaper than the Dodgers. Right? Be real. I was impressed by the way they were doing it. MLB's doing it with a special app. Yeah, I can't see us doing anything different from the Dodgers. We have a kind of a close relationship with them, and the model looks right. So you'll see us taking a lot of cues. It makes sense to go that way. But there's a process. We know that. Not as fast as we all want it to be, but there is a definite process at hand. Orange tier. I think we're orange tier now, right? End of day Wednesday, I think they said. So I guess we're now in orange. So expect that to affect things. So now we know the stadium. We know who's going in there. Of course, we probably want to know a little bit about who we're playing. So, Ben, give us a little heads up. What's Austin up to these days?
Yeah, so sorry, Austin is competing in a tournament, kind of small preseason tournament. It's called La Copita. I think there's like a few teams involved from Texas. They lost their first match against Houston 3-2. Mm-hmm. But their player Pochettino, she scored an amazing free kick goal. I mean, it's all over social media, so if you want to check it out, just go check out Austin's page. From what I've read in the recaps, they like to play out of the back, regardless if they lose the ball or not. Josh Wolf, their head coach, he's very adamant about just keep doing it, keep playing out of the back until you get it right. And then they had a second match today, and they drew 3-3 against Dallas. But I guess there's no ties in this tournament, so they went to penalty kicks and they lost 4-2. But interesting thing about that was that they were down 2-0, I think, in the second half, and they came back to win, to take the lead 3-2, and then they gave up the goal to make it 3-3 in the last few minutes. So, a lot of goals allowed, but also a lot of goals scored. So it's going to be an interesting match with LAFC. They're gonna be go toe to toe. I know Josh Wolf, the head coach for them. He knows Bob very well. They know each other very well. I think Josh played under Bob back in the old days. It'll be a chess match between both of those coaches. And just excited to see that game turn out how it turns out.
Dude, so everybody thought going into this that they had built from the back and it was going to be more of a conservative setup. Yes, the play would be played from the back, but that they were going to be stable back there. And dude, if you drop 3 to Houston and Dallas, what are you going to do against LAFC?
Yeah, I know.
This could be a fun night for everybody involved. I mean, I don't mind seeing a shootout on opening day. That would be kind of fun for national TV. Let's hope it's one-sided on our account. But they look like they're coming to play just like we're coming to play. So nice. They're not sitting back. I'll take it. In terms of Pochettino's goal, that was absolutely brilliant. From the little bit I've seen from this guy, he looks like he's worth his money, right, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worth his money. He's really young too. I think he's only like 21, 22 years old. So yeah, he's their young starlet. They also have another key players, Matt Bessler, their center back. You know, he has a lot of experience in the league. You know, former MLS Cup champ. You know, he's definitely a winner. He's going to be their leader at center back. And the DP, Cecilio Dominguez. You know, he's coming from a lot of experience in the Mexican league, so he's also a really good player for them as well.
They'll find themselves. It looks unstable right now, but I think from what I've seen, they're going to find themselves. Opening day, maybe not. Let's hope not. But I still rate them as being a team that's going to be knocking on the door for the playoffs when this is all said and done. I know it's an expansion side, but hey, we have experience with that, right, guys? So I'm going to remain hopeful on that one. Ben, what's your take so far?
Yeah, you know, they're kind of dealing with what we dealt with when we came into the league. You know, they just got their new performance center opened up. You know,
Yep.
Players are excited. You know, it's a brand new thing, just how we were excited when our performance center opened up. And, you know, they're starting with like 7 consecutive road games. So just like how we did back in 2018. So it's a very similar setup for Austin. So, yeah, I'm sure the players, you know, are looking forward to that home opener against us, right?
Right. That's it. That's what we're
Yeah.
going to see next week, guys. Austin, the broccoli coming our way. We gave Beckham all kinds of drama. I'm sure we're going to give Matthew McConaughey a good rise as well. So welcome, Matthew. Enjoy the noise of the 3252 because we're going to have fun with you on that one. Yeah, that's where we're at. Let's move on to a little bit of MLS news and rumors. I forgot to mention earlier, but the Frankie Amaya situation, which we brought up like a month ago, how he had demanded a trade, then he rescinded the demand. Apparently, he's back on the trading block with Cincinnati. It's involving potential court cases with other teams for tampering. But what's funny is the one name that came up not being involved with it, but being interested, of course, is us, LAFC. In case you didn't notice, this would be another guy that would be more of an offensive talent from the midfield. UCLA product as well. Yeah, if he is somebody that we're looking at, it would be a good move on our end. I won't deny that. What it would cost us, I have a suspicion because of some rumors that we've also been hearing about potentially 2 of our midfielders being shopped by other teams. Not us shopping them, but others kicking the tires. That would be Mac. That would be Blessing. You know, I mean, if Amaya somebody we value, if I put 2 and 2 together and those names are getting floated around, you can't help but wonder if the team kicking tires was actually Cincinnati, right? Don't put it past that. Then maybe they're like trying to shop him to us, but we'll see what happens there. I don't know. Ben, what would you do in this case? Would either of those players on our roster be worth Amaya?
To me, I mean, is Amaya, has he proven himself in the league? I mean, what do you know about him?
So
I mean,
he had some minutes early on, and then in the offseason, they've been pretty much bolstering his position with other people. So I think he sees the writing on the wall is, yes, you got minutes in a really bad expansion team because they were really bad.
right.
But now there's guys coming in that are more experienced than him, more talent than him. I don't want to say talent, but more experience.
Yeah.
And that have proven themselves elsewhere. And so I think the writing's on the wall for him. You don't want to be that guy that's this first round draft pick that's highly touted now looking at the bench. So
Yeah.
our guys are proven, right? K.
Yeah.
Some love, some not so love him so much, but we all know what he brings to the table and how hard he works and how much we all honestly, let's be honest. We love the guy.
Yeah.
He's proven himself in this league and so has Blessing. So if they're kicking the tires, I don't think they're going to get very far in those 2.
Yeah. I would keep K or Blessing, my opinion.
Right. So if they can ask, everybody can ask, right? Brazilian teams can ask about Atuesta, but if the price ain't right, we're not making a move.
Nope.
Doesn't make sense. We're not going to do it. Remember, everyone is technically for sale if the price is right. That's how this business works. Does it seem like something we'd be openly shopping? No, I don't think so, but I'm sure we'll kick the tires if the price is right on Amaya. Again, local talent. He does have a good top end. Like he can definitely step up and move up in his career in MLS. He will have one in this league. So why wouldn't we take a shot, right?
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like the old
Mm-hmm.
WWF wrestler used to say, Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man. Everybody has a price for the.
Everybody has a price.
Everybody has a price. So
the business of
old
football.
school WWF right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't. If we get him, I'll be happy. I'm not going to hold my breath. We have a pretty solid roster already. It would just be one more thing, one more cog in the wheel that would help us. So we'll see where that goes.
But
mm-hmm.
If we get him, do you see him like starting, or do you see him on the bench? Do you see him going to Las Vegas? Like, what do you see?
So my concern was that he brings him in and then somebody gets sold.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have your understudies to replace that said individual, which I wouldn't want to see happen until the end of the season, but the business of football, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's be real. That's what I could think, like maybe there's something to that, but that's where my head spins. Nothing is being said, guys. I'm not throwing out a rumor that something's happening. It's just reading the tea leaves and seeing the movement and seeing the rumors running around that kind of makes sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, my concern would be like team chemistry as well.
Yeah,
that would be my concern. A guy demands a trade, and you want to bring a guy. I believe in strong team chemistry when you have a good unity, and so that's just kind of my 2 cents right there.
Right. Again, it has to be the right move. It has to be necessary. So we'll leave it definitely at that. I did want to throw some other stuff. MLS news. They did add a concussion substitution rule into the league. We're experimenting with it thanks to FIFA. Basically, I'll keep this quick because I know we're running pretty long already. If we have a concussion on the field, it requires a player to be subbed off. You can use up to 2 concussion substitutions. And you're like, what is that? Well, that means beyond the 3. And actually, I think this year we're doing 5. If I'm reading it right? I think that's what it said, that we're actually going to have the expanded subs again this year, which I love. I'll be honest with you guys. The depth we have, I love this. You could have up to 7 subs in a game. I guess that's what the article is suggesting because of these concussion subs. But here's the catch with this rule. If you get a concussion sub, the opposing team gets that sub as well, whether they have an injury or not. It can happen up to 2 times in a game, but the other team gets accommodated for that to keep it fair, right? To keep it balanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, from reading that article, 5 plus 2, like I know the 2 are rarities. It's a head injury, but still having that many subs this year is going to be a lot of fun and keep things moving every game. Expect fireworks late this year now that we know the substitution situation is the way it is. I'm looking forward to it. If that's really it, if we're getting 5, yeah, it was great to see it this last season, so I'm all on board. Ben, what's your take with this expanded sub situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. It's safety first, and obviously it's not something that happens, every game. But if it does happen, it's got to protect our players. And yeah, I think it's a good rule. I think it's going to benefit every single team, and I agree. It's a good rule.
Yeah, honestly, teams should buy depth. They should build depth. I like teams that build deep. Not the 11 and everything else is trash after that, right?
Yeah. Right.
So this benefits us because we see how we build our side. Win for us. Good. There was another article out, Ben, right, regarding who's the most important player per team. Was there really a shocker that they announced?
No, I mean, MLS pretty much went with Edward Atuesta as our most important player, and I completely agree. I mean, they were mentioning how Vela is our best player, but, Atuesta is the one that, pulls the strings in the midfield. He's the one that gets the ball up the field to Vela to score the goals. So, yeah, no surprise there. I 100% agree. Atuesta is our most important player.
There it is. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's the duh moment, right?
Yeah, I'd agree. I put this question out there when I post this article in the notes that you guys probably agree with that, but my curveball is we've had issues in goalkeeping, so perhaps Vermeer or Sistinego could be the most important player. I think that's what's cost us some kind of maybe some playoff matches in the past. So sometimes maybe goalkeeping. I don't know, Ben, you were there. Who do you think is going to be our starting goalkeeper going into the season? I'm still torn. I go back and forth. I think about it. I'm going, yeah, could Vermeer? Then I go back to Cicinega. I'm like, so since you were there, I'd like to hear from you.
From what I saw, Cisniega didn't have a lot of work in the first half, and the 2 goals that they did score on him, I don't think he was at fault at all. But his distribution still is lacking a bit. The ball at his feet, playing those long diagonal balls up the field, something that Vermeer does really, really well. More experience, he's better with the ball at his feet. But they asked Bob in the press conference who his starting goalkeeper is, and he said he doesn't even know yet. They're still kind of going week by week, with training sessions to see who responds the best. So I don't even think whether Vermeer or Cisniega starts on Saturday against New England, I don't even think that's an indication of who's a starter against Austin. I think it really is just week by week, whoever is the best during training that week.
There it is. Competition exists.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. This doesn't conclude the episode, but definitely concludes new content of the day. At this point, I did want to give a shout out to none other than LAFC Fantasy League. Okay, so I'm going to play in it. I know a few others are going to play in it as well. Thank you for the stickers, guys. These are really cool. Ben, team, Punk, these are heading your way. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Also, before we get into the Q&A, the first Q&A I'm going to ask is going to be to the LAFC Punk himself. Mr. LAFC Punk, what's your album of the day?
Oh, right behind me. I decided to go non-punk. I've been listening to this band a lot this week, partly because they have a new album coming out soon. So like every music podcast I've been listening to, they've been interviewing this band. It's called Zayo. Zayo is like one review one time from one of their albums from years ago said, do not listen to this album in the dark. It's that scary. It's a very metalcore, grindcore, kind of narcissist kind of vocals. But anything by Zayo, this is kind of one of their recent albums. But I've been listening to them a lot this week. They are awesome. I've seen them live. I wrote an article about them around 6 years ago. I got to meet the band. We mostly just talked hockey for an hour, so that was kind of cool. I mentioned how I saw them in Santa Ana, and I drove by I mentioned, a little side note, whenever I drive by the Honda Center, I kind of give it the middle finger. Sorry to Duck fans out there, especially Jimmy. Actually, 2 Jimmys, both Jimmys. I know 2 Jimmys, LAC fans are Duck fans. Apologize to you guys. But Zayo, I know it's not punk, but dude, these guys are awesome. Nice. And shout out to the Black and Gold Vinyl Club. They sent me some stickers too today. You guys are awesome. It's the Black and Gold Vinyl Club. Thank you guys for the stickers. Thank you guys for you guys always mention my albums of the week. And also thank you to Early Napalm. If you like Napalm Death, you're definitely gonna like Zayo. Zayo's a great band, but also the Black and Gold Running Club. Thank you guys for the stickers too. So
right.
You fans are awesome sending us stickers. It's cool. Like we'll get DMs, be like, hey, what's your address? We'll send you some stickers. You guys, that means the world to us. I know Joseph got them. I've gotten them. You guys,
I've got them for you
so much.
They gave us, so LAFC Fantasy gave us enough to cover pretty much everyone that comes on this pod. So you guys are super generous. We're beyond thankful for that. I'm loving it. They even gave us keychains.
Oh, wow.
Keychains.
Awesome.
They gave us some buttons as well, so I will get those to you guys. That is for sure. Yeah, right. Super cool. So you saw Victor said Early Napalm. You heard Punk's answer. So at this point, we're going to move on to question and answer period. Here's how we're going to do this. You guys have been commenting all night. We're going to feature the ones that are the highlight of the day, the ones that we can really answer thoroughly and have fun with, and a couple fun comments along the way. And the good old the LAFC Punk. Let's make sure that's stated, folks. He's going to read off these things. So here we go. Don't laugh too hard when I do these. First one.
All right. Hey, our good friend Brandon from Australia. He says, if a player is taken off concussion, do they miss the next game? That's a very good question. I think, Joseph, you might know more, but I think it would depend if it is a concussion. Of course, they're going to be out. But I don't know if if it's not a concussion, if it's just protocol and they leave the game, if they can come back the next game. So Joseph, I don't know if you know more about
It depends on the recovery, but basically from what we're getting on these concussions is it's not really this coaching staff that decides whether this player is done for the night. It's going to be the medical staff, right? And that's why these kick in. It's going to be one of those, hey, guess what? This isn't your decision to make anymore. He's injured. It's not going to be like they're faking it to get extra 2 substitutions. That's not the case at all. This is legit. So I would say if you're that injured, you probably aren't going to play the next week. But who knows in this world? Maybe it's just a good scare. So nothing's required so far. And then looks like Brendan's got another one for us.
All right. Thoughts on that CCL tackle against the Union? I didn't have a chance to watch it. I think, Joseph, you guys were talking about that earlier.
It looks like something I would do on FIFA against Brendan when he's killing me 5-0. I'm just going to say it was like that. And he's laughing right now because he knows we go back and forth pretty well. It's like, dude, I can't believe it was only a yellow. I'll say that. It was nasty. It was ugly. It was an intent to injure. The ball never even changed direction it was so far gone. It was an intent to injure in injury time. There's no reason why he wasn't red carded. That's my take. Ben, what was your take on that nasty?
Yeah, definitely a red card. It was a nasty. He kind of like sized him up too from like 10 yards out. He knew what he was doing, and I was really shocked. But that's CONCACAF for you, you know.
You know what's going to end that? This sounds terrible, but you know what? The old days, this is how we did it. Take the lead late in the game, second leg, you got this locked in. That guy doesn't walk off the field. It's just that simple. Yeah. And if the refs don't want to do the job, the players are going to have to. That's why we have cards. If they don't want to do their job, then someone else is going to have to do it for them. And it stinks. It's ugly, but they're not leaving a choice in CONCACAF. They don't have VAR, which is amateur. Grow up. Get with it with the rest of FIFA. When you're behind Confederation, when you're behind FIFA, there's something really wrong with you. And once again, they're showing that they are behind the rest of the world. So congrats to CONCACAF for being completely lame yet again. But if a Tuesta barely touches a Club America player, guess what? Guess who gets red carded? So,
all right.
Morons. On to the next one. Nestor. Okay, so I can kind of probably shouldn't, but I will. Right. I heard singing won't be allowed. Do you guys know anything about that? I've heard it very different. If you're not singing, you shouldn't be in the North End. That's where I'll throw that. No, nothing of the sort has been said. But mask protocols definitely in place. Beer showers, no. That kind of stuff ain't gonna happen. There's a lot of protocols in place. They'll explain it further. I'll let the club do that. I don't want to speak for the club. But at no time have I ever heard not sing. I've heard it the other way around. Give it your all, folks. And it's expected. If you're one of the few that are lucky enough to get into the North End, give it on behalf of everyone else that cannot be there. And if you're not going to give it, do your best not to be there for the second match. Let somebody else that wants to do it. That's how strongly I feel about it. Because we don't have our brothers and sisters with us. So represent them. Do it pride. Do it with honor. And in honor of Mo, give everything you got in the North End. There you go. Yeah, Louis V says VAR is about money. Yeah, it is, but you see how much players are getting paid. It's an excuse, as always, right? It's CONCACAF, but they can pay people off, right? They can do that. Sorry, there I go again. I like Victor's idea. North End plus 4,000 more. Honestly, whatever's fair is what should happen. That's my take on that. We'll see what happens. Again, can't comment too much because we don't know enough right now. Open Cup and MLS Cup. Victor's comment again. Yeah, that is our goal, right? Nobody's doubting that one. All right, let me throw up another one here. Mark. So go for this one, Punk.
All right. Mark Lopez says some of our guys got signed by Las Vegas. Is this a strategy to open up space for or free up international spots? If so, who are we going to cap space in international spots for? Wow.
I don't think international spots are going anywhere. I think our strategy has been let's get them a green card so they're not internationals anymore. It's been a very active case with LAFC. I would say I don't think they're worried about international space. I think it's just a matter of developing players and getting a space for them. I could see this happening if Brian comes back. Then what do you do, right? Because we still have that DP spot kind of locked in until Brian gets sold. But he's playing now, so maybe there's some good signs there.
Yeah, he's not playing great, though. In my opinion,
we've heard this before.
Yeah, and if you go on his Instagram, you can't tell if he's being a model or if he's a football player out there. So it's sorry to say that, but that's just what I see.
It is what it is. Shout out to Marcial, my fellow teacher, and one of the few people to actually break the Orozco code. Right? He did that, guys. So welcome back, Marcial. Yeah. Love you, brother. Let's see what else we got. I like this one from Mark. Go for it, Punk.
All right. Give Atuesta all the things. We need a contract renewal. Hey, you're right. Just like we were saying, like Article, he is the most important player. We saw what we played like without him. We could have won Champions League with him. If it's, again, stupid CONCACAF, we could have won. We could have beaten those guys with Atuesta in the lineup. So, yeah, Atuesta is definitely our most important player for sure.
I mean, I think we'd be getting thumped by Bayern in a far-off land if Atuesta was in that match. There you go. Let's see. The next one I want to throw out there. This is a good one for Ben. Read that one.
All right. Were there any variations in formation? Oh, okay. All right, Ben, you were there, so you would know this.
No, it was pretty standard 4-3-3 for Bob. There were positional changes, like players did change positions, but as far as the formation goes, it was pretty much the same as we were used to seeing in the 4-3-3 with Bob. So yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. There it is. And then this is a good one.
All right, from Mark Lopez again. Haven't done my Google on Baird. Is he natural in that role? That's a good question.
Yeah, so for Baird, with RSL, his former team, he mostly played on the wing, on the right wing, and he said that he feels more comfortable in that position. But for LAFC, I know Bob is trying to, get him accustomed to playing that center forward position, as well as moving it around from side to side. So just based on what I saw on Saturday, he's very mobile. He's very versatile. He's willing to learn, and he actually wants to be here. He wants to win with LAFC. So I think it'll be a good place for him. And yeah, that center forward position is up for grabs. But I think Corey Baird is doing good things so far to keep that job.
And I hear he's enjoying it too. He really loves the training sessions, and he's really fitting in well with everyone. So, yeah, got a good one, and he's natural in the role, right?
Yeah, he's just trying to learn as much as he can from Vela, from Rossi, from Bob. So he's very coachable player. You could tell he's trying to catch all these little things from them. So I think he's a really good fit for LAFC.
Perfect. I'm gonna throw these funny ones up there. One from Vic. I'll just say it because I'm wearing it. Long sleeve looks awesome. I ain't gonna lie, I do. I love it. It's great. Only thing I worry about is the letters are gonna pop off because they're not stitched on the long sleeve. So the way I wear it is like a 3/4. I'm gonna pop a letter. I guarantee that. But it's a great kit for sure. Different material, but still good. Good day-to-day shirt. And then I needed a Flex. Shout out to Flex. Flex is legit, guys. This is a great sponsor. I'm telling you. I haven't talked about it much, but early on we did get a lot of us had a chance to talk to them, and then Shoulder to Shoulder did an interview with them. So check that one out as well. Basically, dude, they're doing all the right things, saying all the right things. We have a good kit sponsor that's locked in for 5 years, just like Pepsi locked themselves in for 5 years. Congrats on that one, sis. Good work on that. Dude, we're in the right place. So I'm happy with the kit. I'm happy with the colors. We're not wearing white. I'm a little thrown by the white shorts, though. They'll have to grow on me. But if you have FIFA, the kit's already on there, so have fun with that. Yeah. Let me roll down to a final questions. Let me see if anybody has got it out there. Louis V, FIFA rents it out. Don't they always? That's kind of how it works. Boom. Sorry, FIFA. There it is. And I think that might be it for our questions that I'm seeing right now. Do you guys see any others that you want to pop up or talk about? Let's just say them and I can find them. I think we pretty much covered these things. Again, I am beyond thankful that all of you guys are hanging on for this duration of this episode and giving us these questions. Fire them off early. Send them our way. Send me a direct message if you'd like so I can put it on the show, and we will do these Q&As. And I think going forward, that's what we'll do. Before we do the final comments, You guys get the final comments, and then we'll close the show out. So again, thank you for everyone. Any more? Ooh, I think somebody threw it. Yeah, I agree with Rastigari. Black shorts would be nice with a new away kit. I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is black. This is black. That is black. Maybe they're going to sell white shorts, but you can't help but feel like the black ones that we already have on the current kits would be a nice fit already. There's no stripes. They're clean. I bet you they interchange these things. It just makes perfect sense. Praying that they do, honestly, because it would look better with the black, but maybe the white will grow on me. Here's the thing. The socks are the same color as the kit, so they're this nice, weird, different goldish taupe color that honestly looks good. I like it now. Yeah, Edgar, he did said 5-year deal. That is insane. It is insane, but when you understand and see how things play out, it's actually going to pay off for everybody. So it's a good thing. Same with Pepsi. They do a long-term. There's a lot of long-term deals. I got to say, the front office holding it down with these killer deals. We seem pretty darn good there. Ooh, here's one. Paul, you want to read that one out?
Yes. How did Danny Trejo look? So that's definitely a one for Benjamin.
Yeah, the little things that I saw from him, he did try and dribble through players. He was successful in some dribbling, but he was kind of playing on the wing, left wing position for this one against Las Vegas. Didn't really have too much participation in the game. I would want to see a little bit more before I make an assessment. But yeah, just on the first 30 minutes that I saw, he wasn't too active. The ball wasn't really on his side of the field. But when he did have the ball, you definitely saw that he wanted to create his own play. He wanted to dribble past players. So the hunger was there, but I would want to see a little bit more. Hopefully we see more on Saturday.
We shall see. And thank you, Edgar Corral, for that question. Any more questions? I think we've kind of burned them off, which is awesome, guys, because we don't really get a chance to really hear from you guys as much as we'd like to. We'd love to put more on there, but again, we're beyond thankful. What that does is bring us to the time to do our final thoughts of the day. And you're like, what? We're going to do the final thoughts? Yes. So I'm going to let LAFC Punk fire off first. Give your final thoughts of the day, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's on right now. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. We appreciate you guys so much. I know there's just a few of you come on live, and we know there's even more who listen. And I also want to thank everyone who listens to the podcast. You guys mean so much to us. I can't wait till we all get back to the bank, not to see the games live, but I'm looking forward to being at the tailgates, to meeting you guys, the listeners, and whether it's at a watch party or at the tailgates or in the stadium. I guarantee if once everything opens up again and we're at the stadium, if you guys, especially me, any of us, we'll talk football with you. We'll talk anything with you. If you want to talk LAFC, if you want to talk beer, if you want to talk music, if you want to talk about having, like I've said, usually people stop me and talk about having daughters. If you want to talk that, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So I've had people DM me about working at Sprouts. That's cool. Anything. So I just want to thank all the listeners, whether you're on YouTube Live right now or you're listening on your jog or your walk or you're in the car. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Ben, back to the tradition, sir. Final thoughts of the day.
Yeah, Joseph, it was a pleasure, being on the show once again. It's been a while, long overdue. Thank you again for having me on. Thank you, Jason, for being on the show as well. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in. I really try my best to keep you guys informed on what I do in the LAFC games, in the week. You can follow me on Twitter on LAFC Benjamin. I try to keep you the most updates as I can. I did apply for the media credentials for Saturday's match, so those are still pending. But if I do get approved, I will definitely be there and give you guys all the updates you guys need. I believe Las Vegas Lights is playing a friendly again right after the match against Cal United. So I'll try and stick around for that one too and keep you guys in the loop. But yeah, guys, just we're so close to being back at the bank. Just keep wearing your mask. We're getting closer and closer. So just do your part, and hopefully we'll get back to the bank as soon as possible and enjoy watching the games.
Exactly, the follow through. Ben, first thing before I get off what I'm going to say tonight, thank you, man. Thank you for sticking it out there. I know you're busy. I know life has been pretty wild in this lead up, but thank you for sticking on for yet another season. Again, you've been here from, let's be honest, the beginning after this team kicked off, from the first playoff series to now. You've been a constant for us and an awesome source. Thank you for coming on for season 2021. I can't wait to hear the analysis going forward. And for everyone, please check out his articles. It's going to be on the Heart of LAFC website. Pretty straightforward, heartoflafc.com. Check in on Twitter. We're going to promote those as we already do. Instagram, I think we've popped them up there as well. Check his articles out. They're super thorough. They go through everything that you want to hear, all the little advanced stats that we love to talk about, because you know me and my advanced stats. Ben covers it, guys. So check out what Ben's going to have to say this year. It's going to be a very, very interesting and entertaining year. And, of course, Ben will be jumping on with us plenty in the lead up and throughout the season. As he is available, we'll definitely have him come on and help out. I know next Wednesday, we're shooting for next Wednesday for our next episode, which will start at 10 o'clock again. We're going to try to keep it pretty much with the same. We'll see where we're at. Ben will definitely jump on because he's going to have analysis from the game before, if he can make it. I know he's shooting for it. So, yes. I also wanted to thank Punk for sticking it out, man, being here from day one. All the little extras we've ever asked of you, you've always been there. I'm thankful, brother. It's outstanding. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, everybody that's been on, right? Our crew, we're huge. Fresco, we want to see you back, man. We miss you, man. We want to see you come back on again for sure. But anyone who's ever co-hosted with me, including the great Jerry, thank you. There will be more, I am sure. And so it's going to be fun this season as new faces are going to show up and do what they do best. And, of course, at the end of the day, show off the black and gold like we all do. And on that note, like I said, thank you, everybody. Have a great one. Let's lead up. Let's have fun. And join the LAFC fantasy, because I think Wednesdays are cut off for that. So get in there before it's too late. And finally, of course, treat each other with the utmost respect. Stay safe. And, of course, stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.